Hey, good morning and welcome to Adobe Live. I'm here with Hannah Walker, designer and content creator extraordinaire. How are you doing, Hannah?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Great. Today we are going all in on Illustrator and Adobe Express, and I think Hannah can kick us off. What are we up to today?
Yeah, so basically, I started my career in fashion design and I did that for about 7 years before moving into content creation. So we're kind of just going to cover all bases today. We're going to start by creating a mood board and going from concept to collection with fashion sketching. And then I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Express to create that into some like social assets, something we can share. We're going to dive into a little bit of AI to make realistic looking 3D renders. But yeah, we're just going to go kind of across the board using all the skills that I've honed in on over the last 11 or so years. So yeah, can't wait.
Nice. All right. And then we have your TikTok up right now. You have a bunch of resources on here with Illustrator and Express.
Yes, so I pretty much started my content journey by making Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, some Photoshop stuff too. Just tips and tricks that either I wish I knew sooner when I was studying because it would have saved me heaps of time, or things that I did know and that I've learned over my career that I just wanted to share with other people because I know it's not common knowledge. Like there's so many different ways to get to the same outcome in these programs. So it's just good to share the tips and tricks where you have them. So I started an Adobe Illustrator series. Now there's
Oh, whoa.
82 plus parts to this, and they're all different tips and tricks, like super easy. Nothing really goes over a minute. It's just very bite-sized chunks, little things that will help elevate your creation when it comes to Adobe Illustrator. And then the same again now for Adobe Express, because within the last 2 years, I became an ambassador. So I've been honing in on Express more, making my social assets in Express instead of Illustrator because it's much faster. So you can find like a few tutorials on that as well. And then there's also a fashion design section too for things that are more just fashion design based. So many different pieces of content on my page, like literally hundreds. And I am going to be starting a new series soon as well in the new year. So I'll be topping up on any new features that have come out since I started making these pieces of content.
Awesome. Well,
Yeah,
let's hop into it. I'm
let's
I'm
do it.
excited to see what you're going to show us today. In the chat, we have Adara, Courtney, Stephen Overturf. Oh my gosh, in the house. And Sean. Good morning. Good evening. Where are you guys tuning in from? Let us know. We're gonna hop into it.
Awesome. So what I'm going to do when I start with a fashion project, I always start with a concept board, research board, inspo board, that kind of thing, just to get all of my visuals together that the client has given me so that I can see it in one place. And from there, I can really feel the textures, the silhouettes, the colors, and everything that I like to see together. And I'll start by making a really easy template to put those images in. So I'll use Illustrator and the rectangle tool. Oh, let me just do that. And I will just make rectangles where I want my images to go. So some of them will be like more of a square. And then I might have like a slightly longer. And I'll literally just space them out and copy and paste a few. I might make them rounded so that it's a bit like softer feel. But essentially I'm just laying out the tiles for me to then pop my images into.
Nice.
It didn't take too
I'm
long.
I love a little Illustrator. Have you seen Firefly boards at all?
Yes, and I really want to play with them a little bit more. But yeah, they look epic because I love using AI, so it's a great way to do Firefly really quickly from that.
Yeah, it's the research board is making me think immediately of Firefly for some reason.
I'm gonna do that next. Do you know what? Next week I'm gonna look at into Firefly boards more.
Oh, cool.
It will be a part of my new series for sure. So just like take these. Um, and then I want to leave a little bit of space for overlap for the color palette and things like that as well.
And chat, let us know if you have any questions for Hannah. She is quite the resource when it comes to Express and all things fashion. So let us know. Adara agrees it is making her think of Firefly boards as well. Shameless plug.
So now I'm quite happy with the way that looks. I'm gonna use my research images and pop them in the gaps where I like them. Make sure that it's centered back on each one, because then it will actually clip to the mask. Pop that one here. So these are all like aspirational brands or something that my client has sent as inspiration. So it could be something that they found online or something that they found in magazines. All on trend for what they were trying to achieve for next spring, summer outerwear.
Nice. And we have Tim in the chat. He says, OMG, my favorite Adobe ambassador from the UK who also happens to be a fashion designer. We love Tim. I've never seen Tim in real life though. I wish I could see Tim in real life. That would make
I
me
haven't
so
seen
happy.
Tim in real life for ages. It actually has been, yeah, a year and a half, I'd say, maybe. I think it was a year and a half. And the last time was in Munich. This is, yeah, this is very repetitive, but we'll pop these ones in. Now we've got some in place. So you just select the image and the shape that you want to mask it to that's in front of it. And then you right click and make clipping mask. You can also use the shortcut as well, which is Option Command G. I think, yeah. It's not working on my thing.
Courtney in the chat says, Hannah, where do you find all your inspiration?
Do you know what? I have access to a trend forecasting website, and for fashion inspiration, it is incredible. You can actually see up until like 2030 when it comes to trends.
You can see trends in advance?
Oh yeah, that's how the whole fashion industry works. It's called WGSN, and yeah, essentially there's all these trend. Oh, I don't know what I've done. There's all these trend reports on there. Oh gosh, there we go. There's all these trend reports on there, filtered by category. So there'll be sleep, lounge, lingerie, women's wear, menswear, kids, everything that you can think of, sports, active. And they have all the trend reports laid out with the fabrics, trims, colors. And yeah, that's kind of what the industry uses as a standard, which is why when Fashion Week comes around, it's not always just random trends coming and emerging, because they've come from somewhere, because somebody is creating these reports.
Someone created it 5 years ago.
Essentially, yeah. But it all gets adapted in slightly different ways, you know? So that's why there's obviously a big difference, and higher end designers can do it at a higher standard.
Wow. Yeah. That is it. That is so interesting. I kind of feel a little lied to be honest.
Some brands are more conceptual and they take it more from, you know, experiences or trips or culture. But generally we all follow the trends. So we're nearly done. I don't want that one so much. I really love this print. This is a cool print.
When you were at Max, there was like a station of like how long you've used like Adobe apps for, and you would get like pins for it. How long do you think you've been in Illustrator for?
Illustrator.
Or sorry, Express. I know. I feel like Express is a better one.
As in how many years?
Yeah.
Oh,
you get like pins and stuff.
Literally in Express, max 2. I didn't even know that it existed like over 2 years ago.
Well, you know, it's a relatively new app too, to be honest.
It was called Spark before?
It was. Yeah,
Spark.
that's right.
Yeah, so I'd never used Spark. I've only known Express as the new and improved. Okay, I'm liking the way this is looking. What else have we got to work with? Make sure we know what season we're working with. I'll also normally add keywords as well, just to highlight to the client what we're trying to bring through. I think I'm going to add my colors down here, actually, So I'll put these in. So this collection is all about like being circular within like eco-friendly fashion, making sure that we know where everything's coming from. We're using sustainable fabrics, and it's kind of timeless in the sense that it is on trend with the color and the print, but the styles are going to last for forever because they're timeless. So they're very versatile. And I would just pop like the words like that across so I can really clearly see like what the whole thing is about. So I'm like cool with the way that looks.
I like
But
it.
what I want to do is make the color palette so that I know like what colors I can then go on and color my designs up as. And this is where I'm actually going to show as an example. This was my third TikTok video I ever made. And it was day 3 because I started with the 30-day series. And I hope you can't hear it because I hate listening to my own voice, but
I wish I knew
it
this
was.
Oh no, we can.
image
You
of
can
the
hear it?
colour
Yeah.
palette. We go over to the eyedropper tool. Use the object mosaic tool. You can make the image into a tiled color palette, and there you can pick the perfect colors because you can already see how they sit together. This trick ends up saving you so much time. Like and follow for more Illustrator tips.
So
I know that I have.
Oh.
we do not
Okay.
do not need to see that. But
That was your third
basically,
video?
That was day 3 of my Illustrator Unlocked, I called it. But then in the end, there actually was some Photoshop ones in there. So it was kind of a little bit of a lie. But it was 30 days. Every single day I shared something. And to me, they might have been really small. But to some people, they were like, oh my gosh, how did I not know this? And you never know what people are getting taught or teaching themselves. And there's always different ways to do stuff. So I just felt like it was helping people. And that's literally what I love to do.
No way. That's awesome.
Going to copy that technique, and I'm gonna just take a screenshot of this, and I'm gonna copy it. Did I copy that? Probably not properly. Here we go. And I'm gonna paste it on the page. Make it a bit smaller. And then I'm gonna do that object. Create object mosaic, and I feel like maybe just like 12 by 12 tiles. Yeah, so I can see what colors were coming through the most, and then I can pick from that a nice color palette. I tend to go for like max 6 or 7 on an initial board. You can bulk it out when you're actually doing your collection, but you don't want to overwhelm people. So I'm just going to make some little swatches.
What got you into fashion, like from the start?
So I did a fashion design degree because I wanted to be a costume designer. So I used to be a musical theatre kid, and I really, for some reason, just didn't want to go down the actual performing route in the end. So I decided, oh, you know what? Like I love the costumes. I love wearing the costumes, trying them on, like looking at them and thinking about how I could make them different. So maybe that's how I can continue in theatre, but not as a performer. So that was my plan. I went to university to be a costume designer, but the course I started was just general fashion design for the first year, and then you specialized in the second year and the third year. After the first year, I realized actually I just wanted to do fashion, not costume. So that's kind of how I ended up in women's wear.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history. I did a placement year. So I went and worked over in New York when I was studying as an intern. And then that meant that I ended up going back there to live for about 4 years when I had graduated, which was super fun.
New York is an incredible city. One I wish I could live in. Steven in the chat says, what's your favorite stage production?
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm actually going to go and watch Hercules next week. Tomorrow. I'm going tomorrow to watch Hercules. So that might be up there with the best. I like the classics. I love like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Annie, all of those kind of ones, because I know all the words. But yeah, I'd have to go with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, probably.
Nice. Great question,
Moulin Rouge
Steven.
is good, and so is Chicago though. But that was a good question.
I just saw Chicago and New York.
Oh, you
And
did?
I'm not a theater guy, and I liked it a lot. I was a huge fan.
It is good. I think I went to go and see that with my brother, and he's not so much of a theatre guy either. So let's have a look at what we've got.
It's a good one for priming people, I feel like. But Hercules sounds interesting.
Okay, so I'm kind of liking the way this is looking. I want something more red. I like that orange in there. Yeah, so now I've got that color palette which sits with the page because I took it from the page, but just in like an easier way. And I can leave that there. Yeah. So it's pretty much set and ready. And that will be really easy to then make social assets from too, because there's not too many things on the page. I can open that up straight in Adobe Express later. When it comes to my sketches, that's less so because there's so many layers. It gets a little bit confusing. So it's better to save those as a PNG to use for the social assets. But what we're going to do is go through the process of actually drawing and sketching one of the items from the collection, because this is like my most asked question when it comes to me posting my fashion process on TikTok. Everyone's like, how did you make it look so realistic? Or how do you sketch your garments? Because they tend to look quite flat on a lot of people's, like very stuck to the page. And I have mine with a little bit more depth. So I'm going to use this inspiration image for the garment, and we're going to obviously tweak it a bit. These are some Adobe stock images that I was going to use, but I think I'll do this one instead. Let me crop this in. I love this orange color, it's so fun. This is where you can spend hours. And when I'm doing tech packs, I will spend hours because these fashion sketches are the blueprint as to how you need to manufacture the garment. So it's not just like a pretty picture, although they do look really cool. It has everything down to a T, to the stitch details and the pleats and the tucks and any kind of shaping. If there's a line or a mark on the sketch, that it represents something that it's going to be manufactured into. So it has to be so technically correct. And what I'll do is I've done this so that we don't, because we're already 20 minutes in and like this is going so fast. What I've done is I will sketch half of the garment. So I've done it really quickly before. I've sketched just the half of the outline of the garment, like very basic, not really any details included. And I'll just use the pen tool for that. I just use the pen tool like this, and then I'll anchor and angle and whatnot like this just to get that shape. You can always go in and tweak them because all of those points are editable, which is what I love. So if you decide to, you know, make the sleeve shorter, you can just drag it and make it shorter, whatever, but I like the way it is. So once I'm done with half, I would then go copy and paste it and transform and reflect. And then I'll join them together. Literally like so. My mouse is being really interesting. It's a bit glitchy, so sorry if that's coming across. Let me make sure I've got, so you have to have one end of each anchor point to be able to join them. And then I always go, where are we? I do average first, and then I join them. See, it's now joined and become one path. So it's like covered up any of the additional internal lines. So I just make sure I send that back to the back. There we go.
There we go.
And what I've got, oh yeah, it's a little bit laggy for me. What I've got here is a croquis outline. You can create these yourself. This is a vector one that's been created in Illustrator. You can use them from the internet, from Adobe Stock. Like there's loads of different ones available, different proportions. But this is kind of a good sizing guide to get the proportions correct for industry. And that's one thing that's really hard to do without having that in the back or using like a real person, is getting all the proportions correct. So I'll pop that on my page and then I'll lock it into place in my layers. So that's like, I've done that before and I've locked it into place so it's not going to move when I'm designing. Otherwise that gets really irritating. So we can make sure that we'll stay within the lines and everything like around the bust stays where the bust needs to be and whatnot. So I'm just going to join all of these together. Oh,
How do you know when to use like Illustrator versus Express? Like what are like I guess, how do you know?
So you can't do vector drawings in Express. So for a project like this, I could have done a version of my mood board in Express and it would have been like a quicker, like a smaller, quicker way to present my work. But I'd say if I was using it for my website portfolio or to do a client presentation for fashion design, I would use Illustrator. And then for Express, it's more like bite-sized things. So social assets and like marketing materials, and nothing vector-based drawing because you can't do that.
Yeah, no, this is like super like technical, I feel like.
Yeah, it definitely is. So I'm gonna grab all of this now and bring it to the front so that, yeah, there we go. So I'm gonna add a seam detail down here just to make it feel a little bit more utility vibes. That utility trend is the one that I would say is like timeless because you always see it coming around with like Carhartt and that kind of brand. They don't really change their styles. Oh, we are in the way. There we go. And what I'll do is I'll make my internal lines smaller than the external lines because it just makes it pop and it's quite clear then that something is a smaller detail. So I'm gonna do that internal line. I'm gonna copy and paste this line and I'm gonna add a stitch to it because I want this to have like a top stitch to keep it all in place because it's gonna reinforce that seam. And I have my brushes already set up, but it's really easy to create these. You just essentially, I'll do a really quick example here. Use the brush tool to make a line. The pen tool, sorry, and then say if I wanted to make this into a stitch line, I would then like play around with the dash options and then I'll drag that line back into here, make it into a pattern brush, okay, play around with how it looks on the angles and the corners and things. That one should be auto-centered. Something like that. And then it will become a stitch line that you can then use for any of your things. But over time, your stitch library will get built up. So I have like zippers in there, ruching, ruffling, all different things that I can just go in and I don't have to draw them every time and create the stitch, which is great. I actually now have a really big bank of different things that I can go in and use for different kind of styles. I've got them all out here just in case I need them, like different ribs and trims.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Belts and ties and all kind of things like lapels. This is just really good to grab and go for different styles.
Maybe in another stream we can make a Carhartt jacket.
Oh my God, that would be cool. Yeah, 100%. But yeah, like all these things, they're like scalloped and ropes and everything that you could possibly need. Okay, so I like that. And I'm gonna copy and paste that also to the other side to make sure that.
Welcome in Raymond, Cody. Steven says, this is insane.
Okay, so that looks quite cool. Thanks, Steven. And now I'm going to add some utility pockets again. Like this is something, it's great because you can design all of the elements separately and then just pop them on where you like them. So I'm going to bring this to the front. I'm going to group it so that it doesn't all come apart on me. And like I could put one up here. That looks pretty cool. And then maybe the one on the other side is like a bit lower down.
Wow.
But you like really have the freedom to just pop it wherever you want. That looks cool. I like that.
What year style is this? 20?
This is for next spring summer.
Nice.
Yeah, because generally you work about a year in advance. So this is maybe a little bit late because this would probably be already into production if you're working in terms of like the actual retail industry. Not fast fashion. This is like just slow, sustainable fashion.
I can't believe you know what the future looks like. Like what 2030.
I can read the future.
Yeah, you can predict it.
So I like the body. I like the way that looks. It needs a zipper. I'm going to make this into a half zip instead of a full zip because the inspiration here was like all the way through. But I just want it to be like a pullover. And again, like, these are all vectors, so you can just make all of these up with shapes and it doesn't take 2 seconds, but we've got like limited time today. So I've already had them made up. And then I would use all of my assets and my zippers and trims and things to create that to be really correct in terms of how it's going to be constructed. So I want it to have the double needle top stitch around the sides to reinforce the seam. And then I'm going to have like a chunky, probably YKK zip, which is like a really well-known brand of zipper that a lot of the industry uses because it's really substantial, but I want it to be oversized so it looks like quite cool.
Does Carhartt use that zipper?
YKK, probably, yeah. It's like a standard, like most good zippers are that brand. It will say on it, like a tiny little on it.
Do you have, I feel like you have so many like little fashion like tips and like things that people wouldn't know. Like if they come to mind, I feel like the chat would love to hear.
Like what?
I don't know. You, as it comes, as we go.
As it comes.
I want to know all the tea, all the secrets behind the fashion
This is the thing.
industry.
You got me there because I actually am not very good at speaking and designing at the same time. So maybe.
It is a very hard skill.
It is hard. It's so hard. Normally I'm just sat in, not in dead silence, but I'm sat in just listening to my music and like cracking on. My mouse has just all of a sudden decided to turn off. So that's fun.
Steven is outing me for loving Carhartt. So I guess I'll.
Does Steven not like Carhartt?
I just won't stop talking about it. So.
Right. We've got, basically this is going to have some sort of elastic around here to keep it tight to the flush to the body. But I don't want to spend heaps of time drawing how the fabric would be ruching. So I have my trim saved already there and that's perfect. I can make it a little bit bigger with the stitch weight. And then there we go. You would never know. The last thing is to add one of these toggles again for that like industrial kind of feel. And I'll put these on each side so you can have it more oversized loose, or you can toggle it up and have it to be nice and fitted. Make sure that that's at the front. One on each side.
Wow, this is really coming together.
It is, right? It's a process for sure. When you first do just the outline, it looks crazy, and then you just have to trust the process. So that's cool. I like that. I'd wear that, definitely. And we have the outline that's all together, so we can add color nicely. But yeah, I feel like that looks good. The only other thing that I do like to do is add like draping lines, which I know a lot of people don't add because they want it to be super flat. But that is the part that everybody always asks me about on TikTok. How do you make it look like it's, being worn or draping?
Oh.
So I'll use the pencil tool. And then I'll go in like really just finely. Oh, that didn't do what I wanted it to do. Here we go. Just kind of like that. And it will look crazy. And then I will make it just a fill of like a grayish fill, like this. I'm going to drag it down to make it a little bit longer. And then make sure that the opacity is turned on to multiply so that if there is any details below it, you can still see those. And then I'll pretty much just like copy that technique, and maybe I'll copy and paste that exact one, and reflect it, make it a little bit shorter, place it slightly different so it looks a bit more realistic.
So people are always asking about the draping, huh?
Yeah, they're just like, how do you sketch? Because a lot of sketches are just, I can show you actually on Adobe Stock. See, they just look flat, and it would still do the job, but I guess everybody has a different style. Even these ones, they're like a little bit more, but they still, to me, look quite flat. And I think people like the way that mine look a little bit more, they have a bit more personality in them. So that's pretty much how I do it. Like I would do a drape like that on arm.
Yeah, like you don't want it to feel so flat. Oh.
I don't know what that was. I just said, yeah.
Why not? Sure, Illustrator, you can record us.
I'm sure it'd be fine. Yeah, just have a little play around with whatever's working. Maybe I'll bring that, make it skinnier. Yeah, just like that. Again, copy and paste it. Oops. Onto the other side.
Hello from Bangladesh. I'm a web designer and I love fashion designing. I studied for a bit and it's amazing to learn how to use Illustrator in fashion design. Thank you.
That's cool. I love that.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I'd say that looks like, I'd be happy to put that in a tech pack now. I'd obviously do the exact same process for the back of the garment too, so that people know what the back looks like. But the next stage would then be to add color and texture, print, if there was a print I liked. So I'm gonna go and do that now. I'm gonna bring this onto a clean slate. Make it maybe a bit bigger. Let's do that. And then we should have, so this is like the new recent colors feature in Illustrator, which I love, because you used to have to always make your palette yourself and remember what colors you'd had. But now there's this little recent colors that they always like show up there, which is awesome. And I'm gonna should we do two different colors and a print? Does that sound like enough? Let's see.
Sounds like enough to me. The recent colors thing is so useful.
It's really useful for stuff like this, I'd say. And probably when you're doing branding projects and things as well. We're going to go back and grab that color palette. So that we have that handy. And then, oh, that wasn't what I was supposed to do. Go away. And then this is like obviously classic. The board looks crazy on the outside, but it's all neat on the inside. But we all know that that's how the process goes.
Chad is asking if you have any ideas, if you had a crystal ball, what the future colors are that are coming up in fashion.
The future colors for this season, you don't need a crystal ball because they're obviously all out. So there's a lot of the berry, like the warm berry colors. Brown is literally replaced black, and also like a really dark navy. And this kind of color palette, these warm kind of earthy tones, because they are giving like a sustainable feel. And that's the way that the industry is going. That's going to be what we're seeing more of, like moving forward.
Wow.
So hopefully that helps.
I'm going to get rid of all my black and go into
Yeah,
brown.
do you know what? It actually doesn't suit many people. If you get, there's like color theory and like color psychology And there's actually colors that suit you based on your skin tone and your hair color and your eye color and all different things. And many people struggle to actually suit black because it's a really hard color to pull off. So I don't suit black. My whole wardrobe's black, so I'm pretty screwed.
I was just about to say I wear black every day. I should take one of those tests just to see.
Yeah. They're quite expensive, I think.
Oh, okay. Maybe never mind then. I'll try out some brown though. I do agree. I need to switch up the black.
What I'm gonna do to add the color is I'm gonna copy and paste because we have the outline as one solid shape, which is just iconic. I love doing that because it makes everything so much easier. I'm then gonna go and color drop like one of the colors, make sure it's on multiply again, so that you can see all the details through it. And then I think I want the pockets to be like different. So I'm gonna bring them again to the front so that they're on top, and then I can drop. So this is a print that I used inspired by one of my clients' images, and I created it using Photoshop Gen AI. So it's like not a repeat, but it's taken inspiration, it's like analyzed the colors, and it's created something really similar that is cool for this concept. And I wish I had time to show how I do all of this stuff, but I don't. We're just going to quickly color this up, and then we're going to move on to Express because I can't believe how quickly this is going.
Welcome to Adobe Live, where time doesn't exist.
I know. It's crazy. Right, so where am I looking for?
And any other questions for Hannah in the chat, let us know. If you're just tuning in, Hannah is a content creator, fashion designer, illustrator. She is expert in fashion, I have learned the last 45 minutes. So any questions to Hannah, let us know. We still have 20 minutes-ish. So let us know, guys.
My mouse is being really weird. Come on. It's not doing it. I'm just making this into a swatch. There we go. Then I can use it inside. Here we go. So that looks cool. I like that
Whoa.
it be a printed pocket.
That is really cool. I feel like the color coming into this is everything.
Yeah, it's because we can see the future with the colors, so we're really channeling that. But yeah, that's how I would go about adding my colors into my designs. I'd take that, and then I would copy and paste and pop it. I use this, I drop again, make sure that that is multiplied. And then I think these pockets on all colors will work, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
See? Because that's how it comes together cohesively when you use that color palette finder. Maybe something darker. My Apple mouse is not playing ball today.
Oh, that's always fun. You know, it's these things that, you know, you take for granted, and then you come on live to show things, and, you know, there's always something.
But there, how stinking cute.
Wow.
I love them. I'd wear them.
I would even wear them.
Right. So now I really want to, some clients can't visualize this like in reality as well as maybe a designer could. So I'm going to make a 3D render. So to kind of make it a little bit better, what the bigger picture would look like when it's produced. But before we quickly do that, I'm going to show you like the rest of how that collection would have panned out had I have like gone and done a whole full range, maybe with a little bit of accessories on the side. So we've got like a denim moto, classic blazer, unisex gilet that could be probably inside out both ways, a hooded trench, and the elevated zip that we just designed, and we like updated it a little bit, moved the pocket placement, and then Dad cap, bucket hat, oversized tote, picnic blanket. Can't go wrong for summer. That's literally all you need. And colored
Wow.
up, full collection would look a little bit like something like this.
Wow. Okay, so you did your homework already. This
Here's
is
what I did
wow.
earlier. Yeah, this is like just a little taster of what it can look like. But we're gonna now go and use Nano Banana to create 3D renders like this because I think the sketches are great, but that just makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
So we can
Like there's
easily
so
do
much
that.
texture and wow. Those bucket hats look so cool.
Should we do a bucket hat? Should we
We can do
create?
whatever you want.
Let's do a bucket
Uh,
hat.
bucket hats are cool. I really like the half zip that you had too. Just
Let's
to
do the
keep
half zip and we'll do a bucket hat. And then if we have time, we can go and do a tote bag and some other things too. So I'm really literally just gonna move this down so I have space. See, the mouse just is not mousing. Oh, I knew that was gonna happen. I didn't group it. Oops. Let's put them in a group. That's still not in. Here we go. Make them a little bit smaller. Pop them down there. So this is like a dark denim bucket hat. So I'm just going to take a screenshot. We'll see how this works because it is quite dark. I don't know how the AI will take to it. We'll see.
well with Nano Banana 3. I don't know if you've been playing or seen the difference, but it's pretty crazy.
Oh, I've been doing 2.5.
Yeah, 2.5 is in Express,
Yeah.
and in Firefly
Oh,
boards we have 3 now.
interesting.
Yes.
I'm
So
gonna have
after
to
the
play
show,
that.
we're gonna Nano Banana is very cool though. Okay.
Let's see. Let's see if he understands me. This is something I didn't do earlier, so
Yeah.
yeah, it's cute. I
Oh
mean,
my
it was
gosh.
pretty spot on, but like it's even
Yeah.
got the texture of the fabric in there. Like it's so cool. And if you
Wow.
had a graphic on there, a logo or something extra, I think it would also pick that up because Nano Banana is so good with the reference images stuff.
Okay, we
Because
have to try the half zip now.
let's try the half set. Should we do the orange one?
Yes. This one I think, it's giving 2026, you know. These are the colors we need.
No, I mean, just save that. Change.
I feel like, this would take so long
Oh
before
my gosh. So
AI.
100%. So I am trained on Browseware 3D, which is there's a few different fashion 3D softwares. Clo 3D and Browseware I think are the most popular, and you have to stitch everything together as if you were making it like manually to look at it in 3D. That's the only way to do it. And it takes, for this kind of thing that we're about to do now, would probably take at least maybe 5 hours to you have to sew it together, then you have to tweak it, then you might have to undo it and then restitch it, then add the color, add the texture. You have to scan the fabric to make sure it's crazy.
Yeah. An absolute unlock. I just and to think that we're still in the early innings of all this. How much better is it going to be a year from now, 5 years from now?
The only thing is with this, it's like a taste of what it would look like, but you can't fit it onto a person at the moment. But I would not be surprised if in a year's time you could do the sketch, write the prompt, and it would actually do all the sewing and everything for you in a more.
We did a stream.
Oh wow,
Wow.
that looks
Oh.
so cool.
The
It's
zipper is shiny. There's this is an expensive photo shoot.
And some fashion sites actually use 3D renders now instead of Photoshop, instead of actual photo shoots of their garments, because it's more time efficient, I guess. And they
Wow.
maybe are selling it before they've got like final samples, like a pre-order kind of vibe. Although it didn't pick up the pocket placement. That's interesting, isn't it? It was like, actually, this looks better. Let me do another one. I want to see how it comes out.
You know,
Interested to
AI
see.
sometimes gets sassy, you know?
Sporty lightweight fabric, because I think that made it more of like a hoodie fabric, so it looked a bit dense. So we can see if it comes up with anything a bit more polyester vibes. Yeah, that was more what I was thinking. And now it's added a pocket, so there we go. And the prints actually worked better. So I prefer this one. I'm gonna
Wow.
download. I think that is cool, but the one that does impress me the most is the coat, because I don't want that there. Why is this here? Because how do I get rid of this? It's gone all funny. Put it on the other screen. 1 second. Where's my? Here we go. Let's do one more.
Ooh.
The gilet or the coat? The
I
trench.
think the trench.
Okay.
Yeah, you know, we had a guest on the show that took some photos in our studio of themselves, and then they just sent that as the reference image, and they were like, "Put this jacket on me," and it perfectly did it.
That's crazy.
Like,
Because with Firefly boards, you can use multiple reference images, right?
yeah,
Yeah. Whereas obviously here we can only use the one.
yeah,
So I can't say like, here's a picture of me and here's a picture of my coat and make me wear it. But with boards, I can. So that's why I really want to play with it next week.
yeah. No, I think you're going to be blown away, especially with the new Google model. It is unreal.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
No, I like it. I like the color it came up with too, because I didn't say a prompt for the color, but it's added like some more details. So it kind of gives you ideas as well if you haven't thought about them.
And I like that the background isn't like a plain white either. Like it looks like it's under like an actual photo shoot backdrop.
Mm-hmm. Let's see what it comes up with next. Yeah, that's better. I think I prefer that. It's cooler. But I like
Yeah.
it. It's a classic
Wow.
trench. Download that. Okay, so pretty much we would have had a whole collection designed. We've got a little bit of inspiration images. We've made the sketches. We've colored them up. And then I would share that project at whatever time the client says that it's okay to share on my socials. But I wouldn't make my social assets in Illustrator. That's when I come to Express to use some sort of template that I think could show like maybe one image and one sketch, just like a little hint of the design project. So I've got all of there is heaps actually. Let's go back and I can show, I think there are a lot of Black Friday ones down here because of the time of the year. But yeah, there's lots of templates here that you can choose from, but I've got all my favorite ones in my stuff, because if I see one and I don't favorite it and then I can't find it again, it makes me really mad. So I make sure that I put a little heart on it and then they'll come up here. So if anything sticks out, let me know and I can use that one, but I'm gonna just have a little flick through and see. These fashion ones are quite cool. They were for Depop, I believe.
We could make a Black Friday like for the future, you know.
2026.
Prepare
Black
for
Friday.
2026 Black Friday. Because you know, you don't want to be selling this stuff this year. You know, we're too ahead of the trends.
That's true. That is true. I feel like this one's quite cool because there's enough space for like a few images. And maybe you can customize that one.
That is cool.
And then this is literally, well, this happens to by coincidence be one of my brand fonts anyway, but I could literally one click apply my brand if it wasn't on brand, so that my Instagram would still look all nice and jazzy together. But the new thing that I absolutely love, which I'm absolutely going to turn on straight away, is the social safe zones. So I have to make sure that all of the like important information and words and logos and stuff are within that little line that just got added here.
Crucial.
Yes, because there's so many times now that the grid has changed and it's more like rectangle versus square. It's really annoying because it cuts off a tiny bit, but you don't really know how much it's going to cut off. So we can make sure that that doesn't happen. Change that for my Instagram handle. And then we're going to do spring, summer 26. I like to use one of those as well because that looks like fashion.
That does. That screams fashion right there.
Women's outerwear.
And not to scare you, but we do have like 5 minutes.
I'm not scared. That's because it's fine, because that's what Express is for, making social content in 5 minutes. No pressure.
Yeah, that was, you couldn't have said it better.
Right, and because of that, I am just gonna screenshot my visuals and things I want to use, because I would normally save them as like a PNG with a whole page and whatever, but we're on a time crunch, so we're gonna do it fast.
And there's no judgment here. I too screenshot things all the time, and with things that should not be screenshotted.
I'm gonna pop this.
Especially with like quick mock-ups and things like this in Express, you know, even if when you need something like low res, it just makes sense.
Yeah. I think I like that there. We do need to use some of those sketches though. What sketch should we use? I don't think, do I want to give the color palette away? Maybe we can stack these up. Let's ungroup them. And then group these separately. It's Command G when I'm grouping those together. And then just do this, so that looks like a little bit cutesy. And then we can remove the background.
Oh yeah.
In Express. Oh my gosh, I feel really, really under quite a lot of pressure now.
You know, you had a confidence about you like a minute ago, so we got to keep that energy. We're good.
There we go. Love that. Pop that there.
Nice. Remove background.
And
Easy.
then let's use that 3D that we liked. And we're gonna just replace that. This one, we don't need you. That is more than enough. And then, because you can keep teasing, this is a thing. I could now make, how many garments did I have? Like 6 or something. And then the accessories, I could keep teasing and make like 10 assets out of this one project.
Yeah, the iterations are endless, especially with prompts and stuff like that.
Exactly. Let's go back up to here. Maybe.
I feel like the research board really matched, like that quarter zip on the bottom.
100%.
Oh, that's nice.
Get that orange in there because I love that color.
If your desktop isn't just a bunch of screenshots, you're not a real designer.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You're getting in the way.
All right. In final time here,
Yeah.
do you want to just show us what we started with and what we ended with?
Of course. How quick was that though? How quick did I just make?
You did that in like 2 minutes. That was very impressive.
Right. So we went from a higgledy-piggledy mess of inspo images and created this lovely trend and concept board ready to present. as like a first concept for a client. Then we went on to create the sketch to visualize exactly what our collection will look like. And we just did that with one, added some dimension, added stitches, and then we colored it up to make sure that it was staying cohesive with the color palette. Oh, my mouse is lagging, so it's like going too fast. And then this is what it would look like, obviously, if we had the full collection. Then we took our sketch and we made it into a 3D asset using Nano Banana in Express. And then we made it into a social post. And then we animated it all so that we can
Boom.
keep attention.
Wow. All right.
But
wow.
we did.
There we go. Well,
And we did that in an hour.
We did that in an hour. That was actually so impressive. We were right at time. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and all your great questions. Hannah, thank you for showing us the way. And until next time, y'all.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Super fun.
Go follow Hannah on TikTok, Instagram. She has so many cool tips. And we'll be right back. File New is up next.